We begin, though, with breaking news for the economy. U.S. consumer prices continue to rise at a faster than expected rate. Newly released data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics show the September Consumer Price Index has gone up 8.2% since the same time last year. It went up 0.4% between August and September.
Gargi Chaudhuri is here with us now in Studio 57 to explain what all this means for the U.S. economy and your wallet. She's the head of iShares investment strategy for the Americas at BlackRock, an investment management company. Gargi, welcome. It's so great to have you with us. So, what do these latest numbers tell us about the state of the economy? Are we moving away from a potential recession?
Sure. Good morning. It's good to be here. So a couple of things. Obviously, what we saw this morning was that the consumer is still going to face higher prices. So we saw that headline number that you just spoke about that came in at 8.2%. But then there's another number that strips out the impact of food and energy prices, which is called the core number. And perhaps that's even more worrying because that moved up to 6.6%. And many were expecting that that would stall at about 6.5%. And now we're seeing across different areas of the economy. So goods, things that we can touch and feel, like a car, and services, things like going on a flight or a haircut. Those are services. All of those prices are going up. So what that means, to your question, is that the Fed, which is the central bank, is likely to continue to raise rates for some time. And of course, that'll have impact on what you pay on your mortgage or what you pay on your credit card.
Well, looking ahead here, the question so many of us want to know, when can we expect to see consumer costs come down?
Sure. So, it's been hard to forecast that exactly because there's been so much volatility with energy prices, as you know, and I know you were talking about Russia just a second ago. Obviously, there's been a lot of development there. Also with OPEC Plus, that, as we know, last week changed their supply mechanisms and cut by $2 million a barrel. So 2 million barrels a day. So I would say that when we can expect them to go down, look, our estimate is still for this year to end lower than where we are right now. Some of that is dependent on the trajectory of energy prices that we know so far. But of course, if that continues to rise another 20-30% from here, that changes.
It's so much like the Fed is almost like a doctor doing chemotherapy on the economy, right? Like they're taking out the bad, but also taking out a little bit of the good to get to the bad, right? And so this balancing act, do we have any idea whether these current numbers mean that the Fed is on track?
So these numbers actually mean that the Fed probably, or the market is expecting that the Fed will probably need to continue to raise rates. So if you were someone that was perhaps thinking that this is where the Fed stops raising rates, unfortunately, what we're learning after this piece of data this morning is that perhaps they need to raise certainly by another 75 basis points in November when they meet again. But perhaps, again, there's a higher likelihood of them raising rates by more than 50 basis points, even in December. And then perhaps even continuing further on after that in January, February, and March. What that does mean, though, is that with interest rates going up, of course, there's a cost in mortgages, but there is a good side. So if you're someone that was looking, if you're older and you're looking for savings, there are availabilities, there are opportunities in the market and bonds that have got some yields now they didn't.
That's something we've all forgotten about, right?
Exactly. And if you look at the 10-year Treasury today, it's up above 4%.
Right.
Now, we haven't seen those numbers in over a decade.
So that is some good news. It is the bright side, but it is still medicine that we're taking for the economy. All right, Gargi Chaudhuri, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your financial insight. We're going to bring in Ed Keefe now to talk a little bit more about these numbers. Ed, in response to higher prices, there is also some news regarding Social Security payments. What can you tell us about that?
That's right. Good morning. Good to see you both. Social Security payments now are set to go up an average of 8.7% starting next year, which means on average, retirees, the disabled, and children in this country, about 70 million of them who get Social Security payments, are going to see about $150 more, roughly, on average each month. That's the biggest increase in Social Security payments in decades. For baby boomers who are now entering the senior years, this is the biggest increase they've ever seen, and it's all in response to those higher prices. So perhaps one silver lining in all of this is while the cost of gas and food and electricity and other goods and services goes up, the federal government, the Social Security system, is responding by putting more money in the pockets of Americans, even if that money may go to all those goods and services.
Certainly seeing the impact on all of our pocketbooks. At this point, we are just 26 days away from the midterms. What impact could these inflation numbers have on the polls?
Well, notice, for example, these Social Security increases are being announced just before the elections. That's just coincidence, but certainly it might help because remember, we've seen the polls, the White House has seen the polls, and they know the top issues of voter concern in most surveys this year has been the economy and inflation. So take a look at what the White House Chief of Staff tweeted a little while ago in response to all this. In essence, the White House is making lemonade out of lemons by pointing out that Social Security payments are going to go up, the highest they've gone up in decades, at the same time that one of the pieces of legislation passed in the 2 years by congressional Democrats helps drive down the cost of Medicare premiums for many recipients. So in essence, they're trying to argue, we're putting money in your pocket in response to high prices to help you pay for them and an economic system that's out of our control. But Democrats are in charge of Congress. They're in charge of the White House. Historically, it's the party in power that takes it on the chin when things are going poorly, especially economically. And Democrats know these continued bad reports and the likelihood that the Federal Reserve is going to have to step in with higher interest rates means they could suffer politically in some key races across the country.
All right, Ed O'Keefe, thank you very much for joining us.